Hello students, our topic for discussion is elements, compounds and mixture. So this is the topic we're going to discuss today. So before going into broad in the classification of elements, compounds and mixtures, let's study a broad classification that starts with the universe. That starts with the universe. And this universe is further divided into matter and energy. And then from here, then again matter is classified into physical classification. It goes into physical classification, and matter is also divided into chemical classification. Clear it from till here? The universe is divided into two: energy, matter, and then the matter is divided into two: chemical and physical. Like this. And then further, physical classification we have seen. Physical classification is very simple. It's solid, liquid, and gas. And then chemical classification comes into elements, which is our topic of discussion today, compound and mixture, right? So here physical state is divided into three, and then the chemical classification comes into further into these three. And then these elements are divided into, there are some natural, more are natural, they are naturally formed elements, and there are some artificial artificially artificially formed elements. So these elements are further divided into these two. And then the compounds are divided into inorganic and organic compounds. And then the mixture is further divided into two, which is homogeneous mixture and heterogeneous. So this is a broad classification which starts with the universe, and the universe is divided into matter, and this matter is further divided physical into physical classification and then chemical classification. And in physical classification it is divided into solid, liquid, and gas. And then chemical classification goes into elements, compounds, and mixture. And the element is further divided into, you can see, naturally formed elements and then artificially formed elements. And then the compound is further divided into inorganic compound and organic compound. Then organic, then mixture is further divided into two, which is homogeneous mixtures, and then heterogeneous mixtures. So this is the whole broad categorization of the universe, and in that our subject matter of discussion is going to be more around chemical classification, and in that we will study the elements, we will study the compounds, we will study the mixtures, so and further whatever elements artificially which are formed and naturally inorganic, organic, homogeneous and heterogeneous. So this will our broad discussion today. So just with the we'll start with the classification of differences, basically mostly of our elements, elements, compounds, and mixture. So let's see the difference exactly between these three now. So first is element. So basically, what is element? That's let's try to understand. So now the element, purest form of substance, purest form of a substance is called element. So this is purest form of a substance. So this is the definition. This is the purest form of substance. And only one type of atom exists in elements. Only one type of atom. First it is the purest, and then second it's only one type of atom exists in elements, are found in elements. Like for example, if I take element like oxygen, if this is a substance where all these atoms are of oxygen only, so this is an element. Let's take second example, or you may take some other substance which are again of same kind of atoms. This time it may be of same of like hydrogen, all are hydrogen atoms. So this is also known as element. So basically elements are those substances which contain only one type of atom, and they cannot be further divided into, like they cannot be more simplified. There exists only one type of atom in elements. And if you want to see the examples, examples in examples we can see like oxygen, which we saw, it's an element. We saw example of hydrogen, then we can see iron, we can say silver, we can say gold. These all are elements, the chlorine, anything, or in short, you can say anything on the periodic table. you can see this is how periodic table looks like. So you can see all are elements, and those are further divided into metals, metalloids, and non-metals, which we will discuss in future classes. So this is how the periodic table looks like. So all these here you can see all these are known as are elements. So now let's move ahead. Now we will see the second. Now we will see the compound. So we know elements, they are purest form of substance, only one type of atom is there. Examples also we saw, and we saw whatever exists on the periodic table are elements. Now let's understand about compounds. So compounds are two or more elements that are bonded together. Two or more elements that are bonded together. So this is very important word here, bonded. They are bonded with each other, two or more elements. So for example, I take, these are two atoms of hydrogen and one atom of oxygen. Like this is hydrogen, and this is oxygen. This is oxygen. So they are bonded together. So when they are bonded together, this is compound. This is like H2O. Or you can take even two similar atoms of like hydrogen, but they are bonded together. It forms H2. So two or more elements that are bonded together. So for example, in this is like water, which we saw, or you can take even table salt, which is NaCl. So in NaCl also, if you see Na one compound, Cl other, Na one atom, or Cl one atom, and they are bonded together, so they form a compound. So when two elements, Na is also element, Cl is also element. When two elements are bonded together, they form an compound. So basically they can be separated also. Like you can separate these, but they are bonded together, you can be separated also. So but the definition of compound is two or more elements that are bonded together, that is known as compound. An example we saw, like how hydrogen element and oxygen element, they are bonded together, they form H2O, or NaCl, where sodium is element, chlorine is element, they are bonded together, they form NaCl, which is common salt, which is an example of our compound. So this is example for compound. So then further we go, after compound comes mixture. Compound and now mixture. So now what is mixture? So when two or more elements, see his definition is very important. Now two or more elements or compounds mixed together, they are actually mixed together, but this is important, not bonded. They are not bonded. This is important point here. You can see in compounds they are bonded, but in mixture two or more elements or compounds mixed together but not bonded. Like you can take the same example, like if there is this like hydrogen element is there, and there you can see oxygen element is there. So this is hydrogen, and this is like oxygen, but they are not bonded with each other, so you can call this a mixture. or you can take two compounds together. Like for example, I took same example. Now I am taking, these are two hydrogen and one oxygen, and then I take another compound which is Na and Cl. Now if you see, this is H2O, this is NaCl. I'm just, our example is this one. Now right now we're discussing this example. So here it is, here H2O is there and this is NaCl. So these two compounds are bonded with each other, but they are not bonded. These two compounds exist separately. This is like perfect example of salt water. Salt water is what? Salt water is a mixture where these two compounds are not bonded with each other, even though they are individually bonded, but when they are coming together, they are not bonded. That's the reason you can easily separate them. And then second best example of mixture is air. In air, hydrogen also exists, oxygen also exists. All they exist, but they are not bonded. So that is what mixture. So I just recap. We studied first broad classification, element, compound of mixture. We start with the universe, goes to matter, physical classification, and then the chemical classification. We saw physical classification is about solid, liquid, gas. Then chemical is element, compound, and mixture. Then how elements are further naturally, artificially formed, and then compounds are inorganic, organic, and then further mixture is divided into homogeneous and heterogeneous mixture. And then we also saw a difference between element, compound, and mixture in a very simple form, like how elements are the purest form of a substance, and only one type of atoms are there in element. Like they all are oxygen atoms, they all are hydrogen atoms. An example also we saw different elements which is on the periodic table. All element basically, if all elements on the periodic table are example of elements. And then compound, two or more elements that are bonded together, like we saw the example of water, and then we saw hydrogen gas on NaCl also. So they are examples of compound. And then we saw the mixture is two or more elements or compounds mixed together but not bonded. Like then we saw a separate example of hydrogen gas and oxygen. They all both exist in air, so it's a mixture, but they are not bonded each other. Then we saw two compounds coming together, but these two compounds are not bonded with each other, although they are individually bonded, but they are not bonded together, like salt water. So this is also an example of mixture. Thank you, students. Hare Krishna.